I loved the film, guys. It was so good.
Oh, good.
I mean, I'm born in 1988, so I guess I'm roughly the same age. But I just,
You're in that sweet spot.
yeah. I mean, I wasn't a young girl that grew up in Canada with Chinese parents, but I did. There was something about it that just really resonated with me. So I thought it was fantastic. But no, Damien, I'm going to start with you. I mean, it's so funny. I felt like had I watched this at 13 years old, I'd have taken Mei Lee's side all day long. And now at 33, I found myself siding with the mother. When telling this story, did you find you were doing so from the teenage perspective of Mei Lee and remembering your own kind of upbringing? Or now, as you've advanced through your own life, did you find you were coming at this material more so from the perspective of the mother?
That's a good question. I think I started the movie more from Mei's point of view and her side, and I think I ended the movie more from Ming, the mom side. And it was really like helpful to have Lindsay in the story room too, because like she has teenage daughters, so like she was always a good like balance to like make sure that the movie never really skewed too much one way or the other, and we could see both sides of that relationship and conflict objectively.
I don't think you could have made this movie without having, I mean, meaning I don't know how you could have resolved it well without if you hadn't had an ability to kind of also shift into looking at it all from your mom's side, but Ming's side of the story too. So I don't know how it would have worked had you only stayed on the one side.
And then I think that was part of Mei's growth in the movie too. Like her coming of age was like not just seeing her mom as like a monster or a goddess, but like a flawed human who went through a lot of the same issues that she went through. So
And Lindsay, I'm so interested in the kind of assembling of the creative sort of team at Pixar. I always imagine it like a sort of montage in a superhero movie where someone has to kind of get the band back together. But how do you go about choosing each person for each role to tell each individual story? Is there a kind of in-house pitching system, or is the process a little more organic than that?
For the directors, there's definitely a pitching system, right? They have to pitch their ideas, and then they're kind of selected as like, hey, we'd like to hear you pitch some ideas, and then they pitch their ideas. But for the leadership on the actual films, we've actually kind of gone from like there's only a few kind of superstar leaders, and we use them kind of across one or two of the films. Now that we have so many projects going and so much experience at the studio, and actually they apply. So it's almost a bit like a job interview, which is always a little weird because the person really well and they're coming in kind of trying to represent themselves. But it's mainly for them to kind of speak to the actual kind of vision of the project. So they come in knowing a little bit about the idea and also kind of what Domee's going for. And then they have the ability to sit and talk about kind of what they would bring to it and why they're excited about the stylization or about the story, and it kind of allows us to assemble a team that it feels like it's right for the film we're making. So it's a little more formalized than it's been, but it's actually a great way for them to really have a creative conversation at the very, very beginning with the director, which is nice.
So what were both of your sort of teenage obsessions around the same age that Mei Lee is in this? I think when I was really young, I was big into the Spice Girls, but what was it for you guys?
I was definitely into the Spice Girls, Harry Potter, Orlando Bloom. in all of in all of the movies that he was in at the time, and like Avril Lavigne. I'm your age. I'm like around the same age as you, so I think like I think I was just also getting into like what I thought was punk, but was not really punk. It was like Avril Lavigne, Sum 41, like that type of stuff. Wearing my dad's tie like around my neck.
I was into Prince and like Run DMC, Beastie Boys.
Nice.
So it was a lot of like early hip hop. Nice. And then back to Prince. Prince was like the end all.
Slightly cooler than the Spice Girls. But my final question, Domee, I was going to ask, in the last kind of couple of years, I mean, Disney, we've seen them, they've sort of made the live action retelling of Mulan. There's been Shang-Chi in the Marvel universe. There's been Raya and the Last Dragon, now Turning Red. It feels like as a studio, they're giving great platform to Asian American sort of and Canadian storytellers and letting the kind of next generation see themselves on screen. When representing a kind of a culture on screen, with that comes responsibility. I'm just wondering, when making this, this. Do you feel that responsibility, or do you almost have to completely ignore it and brush it off so as not to fall under the weight of it?
Both, you know, I think it's like, I definitely feel that responsibility making this movie. So in order to alleviate that responsibility a little bit, I found it important to not be the only Asian in a lot of those rooms. So it was important for me to hire Julia Cho, our screenwriter, who's Korean American, Rona Liu, our production designer, who's Chinese American, and just to make sure that I'm surrounding myself with different kinds of Asian perspectives. So it's not just on me to represent this in like billions of people around the world. And you know, I feel that responsibility to like bring up fellow Asian creatives too. And but like you said, like, you know, this is just one movie from only a few people's perspective, and there's no way it can like represent every Asian person or their story or experience. All we can do is try to tell a meaningful story that feels authentic to us, and hope that it connects with everybody. So yeah.
Brilliant. Well, thank you so much for your time, and congratulations again on the movie. I think it's wonderful.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey You Guys, huh?
Hey, you guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yes.
Nice.
Hey, you guys!